Another exciting year of WCX is finally here. Engineers, designers, and automotive enthusiasts from around the world are all right here in Detroit to learn about the industry's newest technologies and innovations. WCX TV is back again to bring you exclusive content straight from the conference floor.
This is WCX TV.
You're watching WCX TV.
WCX TV starts now.
Hi, I'm Gina Phillips, your host for WCX TV 2024. We're by your side again to help you navigate all the incredible opportunities this meeting has to offer.
Now we're seeing a lot more startups, people working in the fields of AI and machine learning, all the new technologies, and you'll see a lot of that on the floor here at the conference as well.
We'll sit down with SAE President Carla Bailo to get a glimpse into the next year of excellence in automotive engineering.
Plus, we'll catch an inside look of two groups leading the way in battery safety and hydrogen combustion engines.
We've got so much amazing content coming up today, so make sure you don't miss a second of it. You can keep watching WCX TV on screens around Huntington Place, in your room at the Westin Book Cadillac, on the WCX 2024 annual meeting website, and on YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, let's kick things off with a look into how AI is already shaping automotive design at Toyota. Let's hear from keynote speaker Avinash Balachandran.
AI has this huge ability to synthesize information and for us to actually interact with computing in a much more accessible way. And so in the automotive industry, I think there are kind of four areas which I think about. One is in vehicle design and engineering, one is in the actual vehicle experience, one is in manufacturing, and the other one is sort of all the functions that go together in order to bring a vehicle to market. And I see AI impacting all of them. For example, in vehicle design and engineering, an ability to use text-to-image generation tools incorporated with physics information that can really speed up the design process and allow designers to kind of sketch out things, be able to incorporate engineering constraints much easier. For the vehicle experience as well, I think another big part of it is thinking about new ways in which people and vehicles can interact. If you think about the way that we've interacted with vehicles in the past, it really hasn't changed for the last 75, 80 years, but cars are getting more intelligent, technology is really changing. Maybe there's a way to think of a new kind of paradigm where people can interact with cars, and that's one of the things I propose as well. I think our strategy is to think broadly and try to use it and try it in as many pillars as we can and try to evolve and see what works. It's all based on this idea of Jidoka, or human-centered automation. How do we use AI to actually amplify our workers, whether they're engineers, manufacturing people at the plant, whoever it is, how do we use AI to actually help them focus on the parts of their work that is most satisfying? But I think there's a lot of scope to kind of see how AI can impact other kinds of systems. For example, VR or AR technologies that you can put in the car. There's ideas of how you can use new technologies like quantum computing to kind of scale up AI. One of the costs of AI is the cost of training it, and maybe quantum computing can help kind of make that even more efficient. And so I think a lot of the improvements we're going to see in the future are going to be related to how we use AI in different ways and how we potentially can make AI sort of more accessible by reducing training costs, reducing power costs, reducing data costs as well.
Thank you, Avinash, for sharing your insight with us. We all know AI is a hot topic across many sectors, but what are you most excited about in automotive engineering's future? Let's check in with some of our WCX attendees to see what's buzzing on the conference floor.
Actually, circularity and interior materials. There's always been such a focus on powertrain and how things are built, but as we start to really look more and more at emerging technologies and regulations on circularity, it just opens up so many potentials of having a much more intelligent dialogue about material selection.
I'm excited to learn about the use of AI and machine learning in the automotive. So right now there is AI hype in the productivity like ChatGPT, but I think there's a lot of potential of using AI applications in the vehicles, especially in the ADAS area. So I'm excited to see what's out there. So there are some sessions going on, so we'll be attending in the afternoon. I'm excited about those.
I'm happy to look into the various new concepts that has been introduced in the World Congress, like learning labs. Then we have got something like a knowledge bar, and we have got a SAE bookstore wherein you could gain knowledge. Nowadays we are talking about the e-books and other things, but we are happy to see the books here, and that's a good learning. We've been able to get it from this.
I'm really interested to see the software-defined vehicle and how it's going, how all the different OEMs are working towards it, and excited to see really all the booths and how mobility and automotive is going in the future.
When we think about the future of the industry, so many of our conversations revolve around sustainability. At Underwriters Laboratories, their Electrochemical Safety Research Institute aims to address current challenges in the electrification of the world with sustainable energy sources such as batteries by leveraging its expertise in battery safety.
We have buyers associated with cell phones, e-bikes, electric vehicles. Our Electrochemical Safety Research Institute is at the forefront of a lithium-ion battery type fire.
Lithium-ion batteries have an extremely high energy density, but along with that comes their high propensity to experience a fire and thermal runaway. So what we have been doing is understanding and characterizing fire and thermal runaway with lithium-ion batteries, but also making sure we can develop methods to mitigate the propagation of this, and finally to look at fire suppression with respect to this particular battery chemistry.
ESRI is also involved in public safety campaigns such as Be Nice to Your Advice and Know Your Batteries to proactively bring the public awareness for the importance of recycling batteries through knowledge sharing and education.
The BYD Seagull is an impressive EV out of China. Caresoft Global Technologies has carefully inspected one of these vehicles and brought it out to the WCX floor today. Let's see what their analysis has revealed.
BYD Seagull is one of the cheapest EV, fully electric vehicles available in the market today. It is launched in China. It's not launched in North America and Europe yet, but it's a $10,000 odd vehicle with 405 kilometers of CLTC range, which is pretty high for a 38.8 kilowatt battery pack. The amount of features they are giving in the car, they have 6 airbags, they have all disc brakes. It's enormous in that price point. So they are challenging the market with that price, with that build quality, the features they are giving. So that's a very unique proposition for BYD. The few things which we have observed, BYD as an organization is very vertically integrated. They do a lot of things in-house. They were making batteries for years before they started building cars. And battery is one of the most expensive component in the vehicle, so they control it, they make it themselves. They do a lot of parts in-house. So all the trims, the front fascia, the rear fascia, the electronics, the e-motor, so everything is done in-house. So because of this vertical integration, they can control their costs much better. EVs have to be compelling to users, and the price point is a very big decision-making factor for that. And with the BYD's vehicles coming with these aggressive price points, it's putting pressure on each and every OEM. And it's important to see how you at least meet their features that they're giving, or how you are competitive at that price point. So it's becoming more and more important for analyzing BYD, because the speed with which they are launching vehicles, the technology that they're adopting is enormous. No, I think it's a very neat car. We always had an image that The cars are not of that quality, but the quality of the build quality of the car is up to the mark. So it's a very tough competitor. So we all should see it, learn from it, and go from there.
I'd like to welcome to the studio a very special guest, the president of SAE, Carla Bailo. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you very much, Gina. Pleasure to be here.
It's exciting to have the second female ever to be the president of SAE in over, 100 years. It's a special position to hold. How has it been so far?
So far, it's been great. I actually got involved last year as the president-elect, getting more and more involved in the events, talking to our members, trying to understand what they, want and need, and how SAE can be better as an organization to fulfill the needs of all our members. One thing that's really neat is the membership has really expanded. So it used to be predominantly industry people. Now we're seeing a lot more startups, people working in the fields of AI and machine learning, all the new technologies, and you'll see a lot of that on the floor here at the conference as well.
Well, I can tell you're really passionate about the work, because as we sat down and we're miking up, and you're already jumping into what you want to accomplish. So take me through your 3 objectives.
My first one is to really increase the amount of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion in the organization. Make sure that we have voices from all of our memberships, and to grow the membership more in those ways. For example, here at this conference, make sure every panel has, at least 50% diverse representation on the panels. Really try to include more people in our dialogues, in our social media, in our volunteering programs, in our committees. So the more that I can bring in all those voices and keep talking about it to make people think differently about the importance of having that diversity in everything we do, and the value it can bring is important. Number 2 is to really think about how we can be faster. We create standards, but it takes us too long to create them. Industry's moving fast, technology is moving so rapidly, really at an exponential pace. We can't take 1 year, 2 years to create a standard. If the industry says they need it, we need to be able to make that happen quick. And then lastly, thinking about all of the things that are happening digitally in the world. How can we apply some of those digital technologies and artificial intelligence in our website, in our standards again, to allow people to quickly find the information they're looking for to do their jobs better and more intelligently.
And as we look forward to the future, what transformation technology do you see impacting the automotive industry next?
Oh gosh, there are so many. So one of the ones that I'm most passionate about is sustainability. When we think about how we design, manufacture, and ultimately dispose of a vehicle, how can we look at that entire process and say end to end we have 0 waste? So how can we train people differently when they're designing a product to think about its recyclability at the end of the day, what materials they choose, how it should be manufactured, how it should be assembled, where the heck am I getting these raw materials from so that I'm not creating this huge carbon footprint. The other is thinking about artificial intelligence. That's going to impact every part of our lives, and it'll be no different when we talk about the computer systems and HMI systems in vehicles. As we move into more ride sharing, more autonomous vehicles, what does that mean for the entire environment of the vehicle? And are we going to become more like the airplane industry, where you keep the shell, but you keep updating the electronics and the amenities on the interior? All of these are transformational, and they're going to happen, in a split second of how things have evolved in the past.
If we take you back to your first objective that you want to accomplish, which is increase diversity in the industry, how do you get the next generation interested in this kind of stuff?
So how to start young, I think, is key. And getting into the classroom, getting our engineers into the classroom, getting more volunteers willing to do that so that they can think creatively and see how some of the things that they're learning mathematically and or science and even anthropology logic things can be applied to engineering. I see a lot of young girls at various conferences or at robotics events, and they'll ask me questions. How hard is it? I'm not really fond of calculus. Can I make it? What can I do?
Right.
Just encourage them. So if we can provide more and more people that look like them in various roles, not only in industry but in academia, we'll have a lot better success and give the support structure that's needed to get them through those hurdles. And at the end of the day, keeping in mind that what I'm doing is improving somebody's life.
Yes.
I think this is the end goal of most engineers.
Well, the industry is certainly lucky to have you, and we're lucky to have you sitting down here with us today. Thank you so much, Carla.
Well, thank you.
All the best to you.
Thanks so much.
One massive technological innovation that has grabbed the attention of the industry is the use of hydrogen internal combustion engines. Before we close out today's episode, let's see how Dumarey Hydrocells and Politecnico de Torino are joining forces to drive this technology forward.
The partnership between Politecnico and Dumarey Hydrocells is a partnership of success. With Dumarey is something that really started a long time ago when we were already General Motors.
The collaboration between Politecnico di Torino and Dumarey represents a blend of industry experience and academic insight.
We, as Politecnico di Torino researchers, are teaming up with Dumarey to push the boundary of research in hydrogen internal combustion engines.
The relationship between academia and industry are really important because they put together the best of what academia has, that is this R&D capability, together with the capability that the industry has to develop a product. This is not just pure research, but it's really industrial research.
CalCert is the leading national organization in the United States driving the clean transportation industry forward so that we can decarbonize, clean up the transportation sector.
We have buyers associated with cell phones, e-bikes, electric vehicles. Our Electrochemical Safety Research Institute is at the forefront of a lithium-ion battery type fire.
We, as Politecnico di Torino researchers, are teaming up with Dumarey to push the boundary of research in hydrogen internal combustion engines.
The collaboration between Politecnico di Torino and Dumarey represents a blend of industry experience and academic insight.
Well, that is all for today on WCX TV. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to look back on any of today's content, you can keep watching WCX TV on screens around Huntington Place, in your room at the Weston Book Cadillac, on the WCX 2024 annual meeting website, and on YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about the next, the ideas and technologies that we'll all be talking about in the years ahead. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Gina Phillips. I'll catch you then.